how much is the contribution? Have you ever thought what percentage could be the contribution of your co-runners in your completing the marathon and completing it at a fairly good pace?
It is the persons who are running besides us, behind us, and in front of us motivates us to move forward.
Yeah. Like how many of you? I'm not suggesting please don't watch, but I used to, before coming to Krishna consciousness, watch this cycling race called Tour de France. Anyone has? So it's like I think 14-day tour where they, different teams, they cycle through the French Alps mountains, mountain range, and the Pyrenees. There are two prominent mountain ranges. So where the teams they climb the mountain. Some of these stages are climbing stages, some of them are flat stages like that. So essentially, whoever, there are individual prizes, there are team prizes like that. So especially if you see in the climbing stages, the major problem comes from, one is the slope, another is the friction of the wind friction. So therefore, if you see, they used to cycle in the form, they used to make a peloton formation. V-shaped formation. Okay. So what happens is that if someone is individually cycling, they have to, fully take responsibility of that wind friction. But in a peloton formation, what happens? Those who are in the periphery, they only take the friction that comes out of the wind. Whoever is inside, they are protected. So it saves a lot of energy for them to cover that. Birds do the same thing. Right? So, and they keep swapping back and forth so that not the same person remains in the periphery. So you have in a peloton about 50 people, about 10 people take the friction that is to be taken up by 50 people. Okay. So like that, and they keep swapping like that. That is how they are able to, if you want to complete that marathon, most people spend at least 80 to 85% of their time in the peloton. And if some person breaks away very fast, then their race is over prematurely. They cannot complete the race, very difficult. So the point is, we need association to make major lifestyle changes, and for that you need to have loving relationships through the 6 exchanges. With whom? With devotees, the 3 categories of devotees. And while engaging in these 6 exchanges with the devotees, unless we consciously choose to keep, not look at their conditioning, but look at their faith to serve Krishna, then we will be missing out on valuable opportunity to get some help in progressing on the path of bhakti. So we have covered 6 verses now. Now that we have association, in the association we are practicing devotional service. But one of the main problems with the practice of devotional service is, what is the main problem with, one of the main problems with practicing devotional service? Let's say chanting. What is the main problem?
Concentration. Mind is deviating.
Consistency, concentration. But I am looking for a more foundational thing. Interest, right? Interest or taste. Right? We don't have taste. So someone says, I am not chanting very consistently, I am just waiting for that taste. The day I get taste, you just wait and watch, 192 every day. So someone may say like that. Srila Rupa Goswami says, Syat Krishna Nama Charitadi Sitapya Vidya Pittopatapta Rasanasya na Rochikan Kintu Adarat Anudinam Kalusaiva Jushta Swadvi Kraman Bhavati Tadgatam Mulahantri. So he says, Krishna Nama Charita Adi Sitasya. Sita means sweet. Krishna's name is sweet. Krishna's qualities are sweet. Krishna's pastimes are sweet. Krishna's form is sweet. But as long as, just like a jaundiced person, a person afflicted with jaundice, whatever sweet thing that he eats tastes bitter. Because the tongue is, jaundice is caused due to bile disorder, pitta disorder. So, during jaundice, the tongue gets covered with a layer of pitta. You don't even have to have jaundice to experience this. Even sometimes when you have some acidity problem and you get some acid reflux problem. So, at that time, you eat something sweet, but it tastes bitter. I don't know if you have had this experience. A severe acidity problem and you are getting some acid reflux. You eat some sweet, it tastes bitter. Like they say in Tamil, I think pulichayapam or something like that they say. Right? Like that, if it is very severe, when that sweet thing mixes with that pulichayapam, it tastes bitter, if you have noticed it. So during jaundice, any sweet thing tastes bitter. But according to Ayurveda, the medicine for jaundice is sugar candy or sugar cane juice. So, but when you drink it, it tastes very bitter. But if you want to overcome the problem, then you have to take it regularly. So that's what Srila Rupa Goswami says. Syat Krishna Nama Charitadi Sitapi. It is very sweet. Even though it is sweet, Avidya Pittopatapta Rasanasya na Rochikan. But for the tongue and for the tongue which is afflicted with the pitta of avidya, of material vasanas, na rochikanu, it does not taste very sweet. For our eyes which are covered with the layer of avidya, the form of Krishna does not seem very sweet. His pastimes for our ears does not sound very sweet. But Adarad Anudinam Kalusaiva Jushta. If with great regularity, regulation and respect, if we engage in those very same activities, Swadvi Kramad Bhavati, it gradually becomes sweet. So, one of the very key hints that Srila Rupa Goswami is giving to us is, don't wait for taste. Taste is a reward for consistent practice. So, when we chant, even though we may not like, that does not mean we should choose to do only those things which we do not like and do it. No. There are many devotional activities which you may like to do. You can do that also. But there are certain essential things which you may not like to do. But that also when we choose to do, Adarad Anudinam. Adarad means with great respect. Anudinam means daily. regularly and with regulation. Regulation means not that one day I complete my rounds by 7 a.m. and next day I am chanting till 12 a.m. night. The next day, right? So it's not like that. Sometimes it may be okay, but otherwise, one has to endeavor, and one should not say, Prabhuji, I am chanting like this, irregular chanting only because lack of taste. The day I get taste, you see, we will never get taste, right? Because taste is rewarded for diligent practice. As a result, as a gift of diligent practice. So that is what Srila Rupa Goswami says. Adarat anudinam kalusaiva jushta swadvi kraman bhavati. Gradually it becomes tasty. Just like a jaundiced person, how does he know that he is getting cured? That sugar candy or sugarcane juice becomes less and less bitter. And at some stage it is not at all bitter. And at some stage it starts becoming sweeter and sweeter and sweeter and sweeter. Very relishable. Then you ask the doctor, can I get one more glass of sugarcane juice? And the doctor says, get out of the hospital. You don't need to be admitted anymore. So, like that. So, he reaches now ruchi. But to get that taste, so much has to be done before, right? Atyahara prayasascha utsahan nischayat dadati pratigranati krishneti asya giritam, and drishtair svabhavajanita, try to not see the conditionings. If you do all these things and without expecting that taste, just diligently practicing the essential practices with due diligence, then taste comes. And when taste comes, then what we are expected to do as Gaudiya Vaishnavas, he says in the next verse, Tan nama rupa charitadi sukirtananu smrityor rasena manasa smrityor kramena rasana manasi niyojya Tishtan vrajet tadanuraga jananugami kalam nayet tadakilam iti upadesha saram. The essence of all instructions, this is the essence, is what? Tan nama rupa charita adi. Krishna's name, form, qualities, pastimes, etc. Sukirtana. One has to keep chanting. Anusmrityor, and meditate on it. Chant and meditate. Smrityor kramena rasana manasi niyojya. And gradually, while engaging your senses, you should also learn to engage your mind. Because now that you have got taste, to engage your mind will not be easy, will not be difficult. When you don't have taste, to engage the mind will be difficult. But now that you have taste, to engage the mind will be easy. To engage your mind. Tishtan Vraje, and at this stage, try to stay in Vrindavan. And Tad Anuraga Jana Anugami, and try to become a follower of the Vrajavasis who have great love for Krishna. So here he is suggesting Raganuga Bhakti. Iti akilam kalam nayed, one who spends all his time in this way, he has understood the essence of all instructions. Iti upadesha saram. This is the essence of all instructions. So when one comes to this stage, then vacho vegam, manasa krodha vegam, jihva vegam, udaropastha vegam, etan vegan yo vishaheta. Then he is ready to make disciples all over the world. But such a person is not bothered about followers. Such a person is interested in being an anugami, a follower himself of the Vrajavasis. He does not want followers. So only at our stage we want to become the next Jagat Guru. So, but we want followers, that is our anartha. But when one becomes actually qualified to make followers, he actually want to be a follower of the Vrajavasis. Right. So therefore this is a very scientific process. And the key for actually this whole thing is actually association of devotees. And association of devotees means meaningful association of devotees. Sajatiya asheye snigdhe sadhu sanga swatovare, Srila Rupa Goswami says. What kind of association is very potent association? Sajatiya asheye. Sajatiya asheye means like-minded. Like-minded means we relish the same thing. So when we come to Krishna consciousness, when we are just new in Krishna consciousness, then like-minded association means anyone who is a devotee, like-minded. Devotee, non-devotee. Devotee is like-minded, non-devotee is not like-minded. Any devotee of any sampradaya. When we spend little time in our sampradaya, then the definition of like-minded changes little bit. Like-minded means Vaishnavas of our sampradaya because they carry the same mode. Then when we spend even little more time and progress little bit, then like-minded means we both share a common taste for the same limb. Both of us like Kirtan, both of us like Shravanam, both of us like deity worship. That is like-minded association. So that in the association of such people, your taste gets enhanced. Your trust and faith in that process gets enhanced. Then when you progress even further and reach the stage of Raganuga Sadhana, where you are aspiring to become a follower of the Vrajavasis, then like-minded at such a high level, like-minded association means, if I am aspiring for Sakya Rasa, then someone else who may also be similarly aspiring for that Sakya Rasa, I will take his association so that my Sakya Rasa gets nourished in his association. So that is like-minded. Sajatiya ashe, like-minded. But just like-minded is not sufficient. Snigdhe. Snigdhe means sneha sambandha. There has to be an affectionate association, affectionate love. Otherwise, like-minded without sneha sambandha will lead to envy and competition. I am good at speaking Krishna Katha, he is good at speaking Krishna Katha. But if there is loving relationship, we will sit together and discuss Krishna Katha. If there is no loving relationship, then I will see how many people are following him, how many people are following me, what are the subject matter he is speaking. Is he speaking something different from what I am speaking? It will lead to comparison, competition and envy. Sajatiya ashe snigdhe. But someone may be like-minded and there may be affectionate relationship, but it has to be sadhu sangha also. It's not like I like cricket, you like cricket, come let's sit together and watch cricket, like-minded association, and I really have a lot of liking for you, there is sneha sambandha also. It has to be sadhu sangha also. And then the fourth quality is swato vare. Swato vare means that relationship whom we are aspiring, that relationship for which we are hankering, it should be more advanced than us. Swato vare, more qualified than us. Or another meaning of swato vare means he is trying to push me to become better and I am trying to push him to become better. Even though we may be equals, we may not The other person may not be essentially much more qualified than me, but there is a mood of mutually trying to elevate each other through favorable inspiration. That association is needed. So when this kind of an association is there, this is a very, very potent limb, and this nourishes all the other limbs. So therefore, of all these things that we have discussed, the key pivotal thing is association. And the more we progress, the more we realize our dependence on devotees. The more we think I have become independent of devotees, we are regressing in devotional service. Because the only reason when we think that I am not dependent on the association of devotees is in ignorance. A positive, favorable progress on the path of devotional service actually removes all these coverings and shows how much we are actually dependent on devotees association. Satam prasangat mama virya samvido bhavanti hridkarna rasayana kata tad joshanad ashu apavarga vartmani shraddha ratir bhaktir anukramishya. So in that verse, Kapila Dev to his mother Devahuti, he says, don't think that the association of devotees is needed only to overcome your anarthas. Tayete sadhavas sadvi sarvasanga vivarjita sangasteshu atate prartya sanga dosha harahite. In the previous verse he says that these are the sadhus, and if you take their association, sanga dosha hara, if they can destroy all the influence of bad association, all the anarthas will be gone. But once anartha nivritti is accomplished, do not give up their association. Satam prasanga. So in the favorable association of these Vaishnavas, mama virya samvido. Once the anarthas are gone, you will be able to realize my pastimes. So realization of the pastimes happens at the stage of nishta. So mama virya samvido, the Acharyas explained, this indicates the stage of nishta. And once you reach nishta, don't think that the association of devotees is over there. So he says, bhavanti hridkarna rasayana kata. So that kata, Mataji's son's name is Rasayana Kata Prabhu. So bhavanti hridkarna rasayana kata. So that kata, which was bitter, will start becoming a nectarian beverage for your heart and ears. Rasayana kata. So nectarian beverage. We will no longer feel that this is a disturbance, we will feel, oh, Krishna's holy name. Bhavanti hridkarna rasayana kata. So it becomes a nectarian beverage, but for that, satam prasangat, one should have favorable association. Nishta will not mature into ruchi if there is no favorable association. Ruchi will not mature into asakti if there is no favorable association. Tad joshanat ashu apavarga vartmani shraddha ratir bhaktir anukramishyati. Shri Vaishnava Jagadapur says shraddha refers to asakti, rati refers to bhava, and bhakti refers to prema. So that is why if you see great devotees who have achieved the association of Krishna, they are seeing Krishna and Krishna is asking what benediction you want. So they say association of devotees. So association of devotees is not the means to attain perfection. Association of devotees is perfection. Because that is why Bhaktim Muhu Pravahatam Tvaime Prasango Bhuyad Ananta Mahatam Avalashayanam Yenanja Solbana Muru Vyasanam Bhavabdim Neshe Bhavat Gunakatamrita Panam Mattaha. This is Dhruva Maharaj. Lord is standing right in front of him. He says, whatever you want I will give. He has already attained the Lord. What else he would ask for? He says, Bhakti Muhu Pravahatam Vaime Prasango. Let me have the association of those devotees. Amalashayana, whose heart is completely pure. Bhakti Muhu Pravahatam Vaime Prasango Bhuyad Ananta Mahatam. Mahatam, the association of great devotees. Amalashayana, who are completely, cleansed of their heart. Pure-hearted Vaishnavas give their association. And Bhakti Muhu Pravahatam, and from whose hearts devotion is constantly flowing. Give me their association. What will you do in their association? Yena, by that association. Anjasa, very quickly, very easily. Yenanja solbanam, yena anjasa ulbanam urubhyasanam bhavabdim neshe. In their association, I will happily cross over this very difficult to cross material ocean. Okay. So, one of Srila Prabhupada's God brothers, Srila Bhakti-Rakshak Siddhar Swami Maharaj, he says, material world is not it's not an easy place to live. There are thorns and pebbles and lot of friction and lot of problems. But if you have good company, then you can easily cross over. Yena anjasa ulbanam urubhyasanam bhavabdim neshe. I will cross over this. Bhavat guna katamrita panam mattaha. By just singing your glories and relishing your glories in their association, I will easily cross. And after crossing also, to relish you also, I need their association. Even in Goloka Vrindavan, the Brajavasis are dependent on each other to relish the association of Krishna also. It's not that in Goloka Vrindavan there is relationship that exists only between Krishna and the devotees. There is a relationship of cooperation that exists between the devotees to give pleasure to Krishna. So there is a relationship of cooperation between devotees to give pleasure to Krishna. The object of their love is Krishna only. But if your object of love is Krishna, and if someone else is giving same pleasure to your object of love, will you not have a favorable relationship towards that person? Right? So, in Manasiksha it is mentioned, not in Manasiksha, Lalita Ashtakam. So Lalita Devi, every day she goes out in Vrindavan and she is looking for people that someone with a very good favorable attitude, with lot of good qualities she sees. She is thinking, oh, she can be a very good servant of Srimati Radharani. So she goes and she serves her, does whatever she wants and wins her heart. And then when she becomes extremely grateful and happy, and she says, you have pleased me so much, can you please tell me what can I do for you? So Lalita Devi says, can you become Srimati Radharani's servant?
Sir.
So she asked like that. So even Lalita Devi, not that she does not have an individual relationship with Radharani and Krishna. So all of them, their object of love is Radha and Krishna.